Nestled deep in the Appalachian Mountains was the town of Ironwood. Once a thriving hub for coal mining, it was now a shadow of its former self. Rusted railroad tracks wove through overgrown fields, leading to an abandoned station. Old brick buildings, their windows broken and roofs sagging, lined the streets like forgotten monuments to a different time. The few remaining residents, mostly elderly, clung to their memories of better days. Ironwood wasn't on any map that tourists used. The main road leading to it was riddled with potholes, and cell service was non-existent. To most of the world, Ironwood didn't matter anymore. But for Helen Carter, it was her next big story. Helen was a journalist for Heritage Weekly, a magazine dedicated to preserving and celebrating America's forgotten places. When she first heard about Ironwood, she was intrigued by its history. In its heyday, Ironwood had been a booming mining town, home to thousands of workers who had built a community from the ground up. Now it was nearly empty, left to decay after the mines closed decades ago. Determined to document the town's story, Helen packed her car and made the long drive from Chicago. She arrived late in the afternoon, the sun casting a golden glow over the hills. The sight of the town took her breath away, not because of its beauty, but because of its desolation. There was a haunting stillness to Ironwood, as though time itself had given up on it. Helen checked into the only functioning building that resembled an inn, run by an elderly woman named Martha. Martha was one of the few people left in Ironwood, and she welcomed Helen with a mixture of suspicion and curiosity. Helen assured her that she was there to tell the town's story, not to exploit it. Over the next few days, Helen explored Ironwood. She visited the old mines, now sealed off and covered in graffiti. She walked through the crumbling schoolhouse, where desks and textbooks still sat as though waiting for students to return. She found the church, its stained glass windows shattered, and the cemetery where generations of Ironwood families lay buried under moss-covered headstones. As she wandered, Helen felt a deep sadness. This was a place that had once been full of life, dreams, and hard work, but now it was forgotten. She wondered how a town could fall so far, how the world could move on so easily while leaving so many behind. While combing through the town's library, which was surprisingly intact, Helen stumbled upon a box of old letters and photographs. They told the story of Ironwood's rise and fall. The letters spoke of miners who worked long, grueling hours to provide for their families. They spoke of festivals, weddings, and holidays celebrated with joy and togetherness. But they also spoke of hardship, of accidents in the mines, strikes, and the devastating day when the mines closed for good. Helen began piecing together the town's story. She learned about the families who had stayed, hoping for a revival that never came, and the ones who had left, seeking better opportunities elsewhere. She felt a kinship with the people of Ironwood, even though she had never met them. Their struggles, their resilience, and their sense of community resonated with her. One day, while exploring the outskirts of town, Helen came across something extraordinary. Hidden behind a dense thicket of trees was a large weathered chest. It was locked, but the rusted hinges gave way with a little effort. Inside, she found documents, artifacts, and a map. The map showed an underground network of tunnels and rooms beneath the town. These were more than just mining tunnels. They were storage spaces, meeting areas, and even makeshift shelters. Helen realized she had discovered something important. This underground network wasn't just a relic of Ironwood's mining past. It was a testament to the ingenuity and determination of its people. The documents in the chest revealed that the tunnels had been used during labor strikes to protect miners and their families from violence. They had also served as a refuge during natural disasters and economic downturns. Excited by her discovery, Helen shared it with Martha and a few other residents. At first, they were skeptical, but as Helen showed them the documents and the map, their interest grew. Together, they ventured into the tunnels, clearing debris and uncovering more artifacts. They found tools, lanterns, and carvings on the walls that told stories of the miners' lives. Word of Helen's discovery spread beyond Ironwood. Historians, archaeologists, and journalists began to take an interest in the town. What had once been a forgotten relic of the past was now seen as a treasure trove of history and culture. As the outside world took notice of Ironwood, the town began to change. Tourists came to explore the tunnels and learn about its history. Grants and donations poured in, allowing the residents to restore some of the old buildings. The schoolhouse became a museum, and the library was renovated to house the artifacts Helen had found. For Helen, the transformation of Ironwood was bittersweet. She was proud to have played a part in reviving the town, but she also worried about how commercialization might affect its authenticity. She stayed in Ironwood long enough to see it regain some of its former vibrancy. But then she returned to Chicago, leaving the town in the hands of its residents. As she wrote her article for Heritage Weekly, Helen reflected on the lessons she had learned in Ironwood. The town had taught her that history is not just about grand events and famous people. It's about ordinary people, their struggles, their resilience, and their contributions to the world. Ironwood also taught her the importance of community. The town's residents, both past and present, had created something enduring through their hard work and determination. Even when the world moved on, their legacy remained, waiting to be rediscovered. Helen ended her article with a simple but powerful message. Ironwood is not just a town that time forgot. It is a reminder that every place, no matter how small or forgotten, has a story worth telling. And in telling these stories, we honor the people who came before us and inspire those who will come after. Ironwood's revival wasn't just about preserving its past. It was about giving it a future built on the foundation of its history, its people, and their unwavering spirit. The past holds lessons and treasures that can guide us in the present. By respecting and preserving history, we can honor those who came before us and create a brighter future for those who will follow. Communities, no matter how small or forgotten, have intrinsic value and deserve to be celebrated. If you believe that every town, no matter how small or forgotten, has a story worth telling, then you're in the right place. Subscribe for more stories that celebrate history, community, and the enduring spirit of those who came before us. Join us as we explore forgotten places, uncover hidden gems, and honor the legacies that shape our world. Don't miss out on the next chapter. Hit that subscribe button and be part of the journey.